The mutilated body of a first-year student was found in a field. Could this have been an occult murder? Don't miss out. The clairvoyance will reveal the horrifying truth. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a channel of exclusively true and astonishing stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants use their extraordinary abilities to investigate resonant criminal cases and shocking mystical anomalies. This is the last video in which 17-year-old Andrei Kolb is caught alive. He's at his high school graduation ceremony. After that, the young man enrolled in the University of Internal Affairs, dreaming of becoming a law enforcement officer. However, after his first semester, he disappeared without a trace. This happened during the winter holidays when Andrei arrived home.
We had dinner together and he said, "Mom, I'm going out." I told him, "Just don't be long, son," and went to bed. I woke up at 5 a.m., but he wasn't home yet. I dialed him. His phone was off. My heart sank. In 17 and a half years, it had never happened that he hadn't returned home.
The woman and her elder daughter, Mariana, started calling all of Andrei's friends and acquaintances at 5 a.m.
No one had seen him. We called the police.
A massive search began. No one remained indifferent.
But it yielded no results.
We searched all the abandoned houses, pits, ditches, cellars, and wells.
Where could the first-year student have gone? And most importantly, was he alive?
We even thought he was beaten and lost his memory. But we still hoped he was alive. I went to bed holding his photo, crying and begging, "Son, please come to me in my dreams."
So the detectives stayed there day and night.
After 7 months of searching, the mother was informed that her son was found dead, without his head and hands.
The people who found the body contacted me.
I was mowing hay with my tractor and saw something in this spot. Then I saw the sneakers. I called the police immediately, and an investigative team arrived.
The body was almost completely skeletonized. The relatives couldn't recognize Andrei in it, but the clothes were the same as when the boy disappeared. His mobile phone was also with him, in his pants pocket. Thus, the police immediately ruled out robbery as a motive. The bones were intact, so they also ruled out that he was hit by a car.
It's a great tragedy. His mother was dark with grief.
I bring flowers to his grave every day.
But Maria still doubts whether she buried her son.
Yes, the clothes were my son's, but there's no other confirmation that it's him.
But if Andrei is indeed alive, where is he then? And if the buried body is indeed his, how did he end up in the middle of a field, several kilometers away from the nearest villages and roads? Was he murdered? Then who, why, and how did it?
The experts cannot find the cause of death due to the complete absence of soft tissues.
I want to ask the psychics to come and help me figure it out.
Clairvoyant Hala Polishchuk volunteered to help the mother. Molfar Olena Stetsenko will work on this case with her.
I sense a piercing chill emanating from this photograph. I'm sorry, but the boy is no longer among the living. I feel pain in my arms and legs. Sharp spikes pierce his body. It's some kind of nightmare. It seems like he was tortured. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of ritual. The boy seems to have been surrounded from all sides. He definitely wasn't alone at the moment of death.
The clairvoyants meet to share what they sensed before heading to the village where Andrei lived.
I had a dream of a young man, a boy essentially. He was covered in blood, and he was terribly scared.
I saw a creature. It was very terrifying and hairy. I felt overwhelming, numbing horror. Is this creature connected to the boy's death?
The psychics decide to figure out what it means on site.
Hello?
Hello? I have no idea what happened to my son.
Let's go inside.
This is Andri's photo.
It feels like he's calling you even after death. You and him share a powerful bond.
Hearing the clairvoyant's words, Maria just can't hold back. She hoped, until the last moment, that her son was alive and that she had buried a stranger.
I dreamed of him. In the dream, I saw him walking and ran toward him, but he gave me a strange look. His eyes were like glass, and then he ran away from me. I started running after him, but I never caught up with him.
Something terrified him before his death. He seemed to be running, trying to escape, but he didn't make it.
It's like the monster I saw. It gives me chills.
By a strange coincidence, on the same day when the clairvoyants were working almost 500 kilometers from the capital, their colleague Yaroslava Fedorova called our editorial office.
I had a dream last night. There was a boy, very young, not older than 20. He was outside. It was completely dark around, but the moon was shining very brightly. He was running somewhere, and several people were chasing him. They were in black robes that reached down to the ground and had burning torches in their hands.
When we showed her Andriy Kolp's photo, she recognized the boy from her dream.
It was definitely him, and I saw the final moments of his life.
Yaroslava Fedorova and Hala Polishchuk both saw the chase after Andriy. But who were the people running after him? And why did someone cut off Andriy's hands and head?
Suddenly, I felt as if someone pulling me from behind. I tuned in and realized it was Andriy, asking me to go somewhere. He was pulling me in that direction. Before he disappeared, I saw him in a crowded place. He said, "Go there."
It's the center of the village.
It's a small village with a population of only 3,000 residents. Usually, all the young people gather in one place in the evenings, the center. Andriy was indeed here on the evening of his disappearance. His friend saw him.
I asked him, "Are you going home?" And he said, "No, I'll stay out a bit longer."
Nobody knows what Andriy was doing near the cafe and what happened to him afterward.
When we tuned in to Andriy's energy near the cafe in the center of the village, I had the feeling that he'd been waiting for someone there. He was waiting for a girl he had feelings for. She was supposed to come there. What's your name?
Irina.
Irina is Andriy's girlfriend. Since the day he disappeared, she's been restless. She tries to support his mother as much as she can.
It's so hard. I love him so much. I still can't believe it. We dreamed of living together. We were already thinking about the future.
I saw Andriy before his death. On the last evening of his life, he hoped to see his girlfriend. But she didn't come. Why were you upset with him? You even shut yourself off and didn't answer his calls. Was that the case?
We'd had a fight approximately a month before it happened.
Were you trying to make him do something? You're not telling us something, but it's important, Irina. It's important because there's something hidden in this.
Back then, we couldn't even imagine what important secret Irina was hiding. Later, it will change the course of the investigation into Andriy's death. But for now, Irina isn't even telling the truth to her deceased boyfriend's mother. Meanwhile, the clairvoyants are trying to sense how Andriy ended up in the middle of the field, 3 kilometers from here.
A party of people.
They're all young, and I see a vehicle approach them.
They greet one another. Yes, these are friends.
They arrived in a vehicle. It's a car.
And Andriy hesitates whether he should go or not.
They left by car.
I worked with Andri's photo and tried to see the last moments of his life through his eyes. And I saw people in black robes chasing the boy again. Among them, one man stood out. He said a strange phrase, damnatio ad bestias.
Our detective immediately decides to find out what these words mean.
Damnatio ad bestias. This was a ritual of sacrifice, death penalty by beasts.
Could this be related to Andri's death? Who and why would take the life of an innocent young man so cruelly? The clairvoyants felt that before his death, Andri went to the neighboring village to visit people he barely knew.
I tried to tune in to feel where exactly the men took Andri. I saw a small white house and an old woman sitting on the porch. Do you have the map of the area?
Yes, I do.
We need this place.
This is incredible! Olena Stetsenko pointed to the village where Andri's body was found 7 months after his disappearance. Was he held somewhere before his death? But why? And who could do it?
I saw what Andri saw. He entered an unfamiliar room. In the middle of it, there was a dining table with various dishes. People were sitting at the table, celebrating something, but he was anxious.
Is Yaroslava Fedorova seeing the exact place that the other two clairvoyants are trying to find now?
When we passed an old house in the village, I saw Andri's spirit at its gate.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
As the Molfar said, an old woman with a cane is sitting on the porch. But how is this related to Andri's death?
Can we work a little bit here?
Yes, of course.
The elderly woman was the owner of the house. But Hala and I tuned in to the time when Andri had been there. And I felt that the woman hadn't been there then. A family couple with a child occupied the house.
As it turned out, the clairvoyant was right. In 2012, the elderly woman lived with her grandson in a neighboring village and rented her house out for some time.
I see the picture through Andri's eyes again. He's sitting. People around are laughing and having fun. But then he notices that the people are exchanging glances, as if they are up to something. Andri stands up and says goodbye to everyone going to leave.
He wasn't killed here.
Nothing happened here.
During the search for Andri, the detectives inspected every yard in the village where he lived, as well as in nearby villages, including this one. They checked the yards for blood, Andri's personal belongings, or other suspicious traces.
We found nothing at all.
According to the psychics, Andri left this house alive.
Andri wanted to get out of this place as soon as possible. He hurriedly put on either a jacket or a sheepskin coat, but the owner of the house stopped him at the door. He said, "I'll walk you out." And then the boy noticed that the man's eyes were red. He understood that his only chance to survive was to run.
It seems someone attacked him, but Andri broke free and ran. He chose that direction for a reason. It was as if someone started chasing him. But I'm not sure who it was. I need to check this first, and it's better to do it there, at the place where Andri's body was found.
I saw what Andri saw. It's dark. I'm running as fast as I can. I'm being chased. I look back and see the people in black robes.
All this seems to be some kind of terrible ritual. What really happened to the boy? How did he die? And why were Andri's hands and head separated from his body?
It feels like the people the boy sees are members of some kind of secret order or sect. It's possible that Andri's death was a ritual murder.
Could it be that the 17-year-old boy was invited as a guest and then sacrificed by some cultists? The project's detective, Karina Malichenko, immediately checks this version and finds out what sects exist in the area where Andriy was found dead.
There are 25 charismatic sects operating there. I printed out a list of them and went around with it, hoping that at least one name would be familiar to the locals. And it turned out that everyone knew about a specific religious community.
They've got a sect called Zion.
They call it a church, but it's a sect. They shout, sing, and dance.
Zion used to have a branch in the village where Andriy lived. It was closed after one of the parishioners, Natalia, sacrificed her 1-year-old son.
She worked as a kindergarten teacher and even graduated from a pedagogical institute.
She threw her son into a well.
The tragedy occurred over 10 years ago. After that incident, the organization stopped its activities several times and then resumed them again. So, did Andriy Kolp really become a victim of local sect members?
The field. He found peace here.
Something terrified him. A lot.
Something grabbed him by the legs. He got really terrified and ran like crazy.
Our detective managed to find the man who rented the house where, according to the clairvoyance, Andriy Kolp spent the last minutes of his life.
Are you Mikhailo?
Yes.
Who lived with you in the house in 2012?
Me, my wife, and my daughter.
I already told you that I'm investigating the death of Andriy Kolp. Did you know him?
Well, Andriy, it was the second time I saw him, really.
We were shocked, but the man admitted that on the evening he disappeared, January 10th, Andriy was indeed in that house, where the sense brought the clairvoyance.
What were you celebrating that evening, January 10th?
My friend had a daughter born. That day, well, you understand, we went to buy vodka and beer and then invited our friends. And Andriy was among them. We drank, played cards, and had a good time.
How about conflicts? Did anyone fight?
No. Why fight? The man was happy.
How do you think Andriy ended up dead in the field?
At around 2 a.m, he said, "Let's go home." I said, "We'll finish drinking and then go." He went out onto the porch and that was it.
I talked to Mikhailo's wife and several other boys who, as it turned out, were the last people who saw Andriy alive. Their testimonies match. I have no reasons to suspect that they are lying.
But then, who was chasing Andriy before his death?
He runs looking back.
Strangely, the people chasing him turned into dogs. How is that possible? They sink their fangs into his legs, tearing his clothes along with pieces of flesh.
Is it even possible for people to turn into dogs? Werewolves don't exist. They are fictional creatures from Hollywood movies. However, the man who found the boy's remains did see that his clothes were indeed torn.
The clothes were torn. Maybe animals did it?
Damnatio ad bestias.
Damnatio ad bestias is death penalty by beasts.
We don't know what to think or how to explain all this.
When I tuned in to view the situation from the side, I didn't see a single person around him. There were dogs, but no people. Andriy was the only one who saw them. I think he hallucinated.
Does it mean that the man with the red eyes and the chase were a mere hallucination? But Andriy was mentally stable.
Andriy talked to us.
He's not himself. He wasn't himself. Starting from that house, something was wrong with his head. Did he take drugs?
Is it possible he was given something in that house?
Irina, was it the reason of your argument? Did he use some substances?
Yes. We quarreled because of this? Yes. Weed.
So that's what Andriy's girlfriend was hiding from everyone. A few months before his death, Andriy started smoking marijuana, and that's why Irina quarreled with him.
Yes, his friends influenced him a lot. They were involved with drugs.
We remembered that Andri's mother had a nightmare after his death, which she couldn't interpret.
I saw him walking and ran to him, but he gave me a strange look. His eyes were like glass.
Smoking marijuana makes eyes look glassy. Does it mean that what Yaroslava Fedorova saw through his eyes was indeed a hallucination, and in reality, Andriy was attacked by dogs?
How would you comment the case that happened to Andriy Kulp?
A psychosis developed against the background of perceptual distortions. Then delusions began. He got scared and ran.
According to the villagers, there are many stray dogs in the area. So we can assume that Andriy was indeed mauled by dogs.
At the beginning of the investigation, I felt that sharp teeth sank into Andriy's arms and legs. Those were dog teeth.
I didn't know that.
He feels guilty towards you, and he is deeply upset that you are now alone and have given up on life. He asks you to forgive him.
Thank you for everything. Thanks for helping me figure it out.
Maria, you're surrounded by people who support you.
I know. Irina is like a daughter to me.
You must return to living now.
What a terrible story of a stupid death due to drugs. If it impressed you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Many more amazing investigations by the psychics are coming up. An unknown otherworldly force is hunting a little girl. Why is the spirit attacking the 4-year-old Karina? Don't miss out. The psychics will unveil the truth. Hidden in a grave. You are watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate resonant criminal cases and unbelievable mystical phenomena. The family of the 4-year-old Karina contacted the psychics, asking them for help. The girl has been experiencing bizarre visions of a man's ghost that scares her a lot.
Yes, he was very scary. He terrified me. Over there, in my room.
She woke up at night and started crying and shouting. She shouted, "The man! Take him away from here!"
Karina, her parents, and elder sister Lisa live in a small Ukrainian village. All the residents of the house are in fear.
I'm afraid for her.
The girl claims the man has been trying to drag her somewhere.
He was pulling me by my legs.
But the worst thing is that after every such vision, Karina feels bad. The temperature hikes, and she faints.
After Karina saw the ghost last time, her condition was so bad that we called an ambulance.
The ambulance took Karina to the hospital, and on the way there, the girl fainted. The medics did everything they could to save her life.
She was on a drip. It was very hard. Nobody knew why it happened. What was its cause?
The doctors were able to stabilize Karina's condition, and she regained consciousness, but the reason for the problem was never found.
She was discharged from the hospital the same day, as there were no signs of any ailment in her. She was absolutely healthy.
However, the terrible vision has been haunting the girl more and more frequently, and now the other members of the family see the mysterious figure too.
It was black, you know, like a man wearing a hooded cloak. It passed from the door to the window. I was so scared that I ran out of the room and was afraid to come back.
At first I didn't believe it, but then I saw it with my own eyes. It was something dark and vague, like a cloud, and it was moving.
Recently, Lisa has had the worst nightmare in her life. After it, she stuttered for several days.
I was lying in my bed, and the corpses rose from under the floor, trying to pull me down. I tried to escape. I realized it was a dream, but I still told them, "Please, I don't want to die. Let me go." But they were pulling me down from my bed by my legs.
Oksana doesn't even know which of her daughters is in greater danger. Her elder daughter, the 25-year-old Lisa, had 4 complicated gynecological surgeries. During the last one, she lost her baby and almost died herself.
I lost a lot of blood. The doctors weren't sure they could save me. After I woke up, I asked them how my pregnancy was going, but they told me, we had to save you.
But one day, Oksana had an adventure after which she began to fear for her own life as well.
I arrived here before Easter to tidy up my husband's mother's grave, but the ground collapsed. And I fell. In this grave. Right here. I don't know what it could be.
Mom felt very bad then. Her heart ached. If something happens to Mom or Karina, I won't take it.
Jana Shulikova and Yana Pasinkova, 2 of the most powerful psychics of the project, agreed to help the family. On their way there, the clairvoyants share their initial ideas.
I had a strange dream last night. I was underground in some sort of cave. There, I saw a man standing, and there were a skull and bones at his feet. He pointed at the door behind him. I approached the door and pulled the handle, but it was locked. And I heard a lengthy baby cry behind the door. The sound was so creepy. What was it?
Something hit the roof of the van.
I didn't get what it was. I was driving when I heard a thump.
It's so huge. Can you imagine what would be if it fell on someone's head? The spirit of the man. The one standing on the bones. What do you want? Who are you? What are you searching for? Why do you keep coming? He's pointing at you? Oh God, Yana! He's gone. He vanished. I feel the investigation is going to be a lot of fun.
An hour later, the psychics arrive at the Laptees' house.
Hello.
Hello.
Come in, please. We called you. We'd really like you to help us. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Children? Children?
Where is the psychic running? What did she feel?
Come over here, baby. Careful, Glass. Calm down, don't worry.
This is horrendous. The dome of the chandelier fell right where the girl was playing only a moment ago. The heavy glass could easily kill the child. The clairvoyant saved her at the last moment.
What happened?
If it had hit her on the head, it could have killed her.
Karina is a late child. She was born when her mother was 44 and her father was 52. Both of them are married for the second time, and they both have other children who have grown up by now.
If you don't mind, I'll walk around a little, because I have a strange feeling. What's with the light? Look at it, the house is alive. Somebody doesn't want us to be inside it.
What is this? Does anybody live in your attic? What is this?
No.
My goodness. Dear God, my pendulum broke. I can't use it anymore. Who are we bothering so much? What was it?
What was that noise? Nobody understands what's going on. It sounded as though something had been shattered, but there are no fragments or anything.
Did you hear it?
And then I again saw the spirit of the man who had appeared in my dream the night before the investigation. But what did he want? Look, over there, right between the two plots, the man is standing on bones.
There he is, standing! Look!
It's incredible, but the girl also sees the man.
He's here for somebody. Do you want her? And
she's about to faint. She's trembling so badly, she's barely standing.
He says, it's all your fault because of the child. The child, you hear it? Wait, the child.
The clairvoyants are afraid for Karina's life.
Are you all right?
Yes, but Karina's trembling.
Then what child did he mean?
I decided to work with the girl because I felt something terrible. Karina had seen death. You are riding. It's a road. It's a road. 1, 2, 3. They're sitting. Death. A murder.
Yes, there was a man.
Did you kill somebody on the road?
No, not us.
2 years ago, Oksana, her husband, and younger daughter had a bad car crash. Oksana's husband was driving. The family was coming back from Oksana's parents, who live 60 kilometers away from their house. The car came to a stop at a traffic light while at a junction.
The light was green. A Tavria passed by us. And from the beltway, a Maz was approaching.
Wait, I see a dead body lying over the child.
The Maz hit the Tavria, and it was thrown up in the air and landed on the roof of our car. Yes, the car with the dead body fell on top of our car. The driver of the Tavria died right away.
The child is a witness of a murder.
It's hard to even imagine what these people went through. Oksana's husband rushed to the Tavria to help, but he was too late. Oksana and her daughter were taken to the hospital. The woman was diagnosed with a cervical spine dislocation. Luckily, her husband and daughter weren't injured. Is the spirit of the man who died in the accident haunting the family, trying to take them to the other world?
Something didn't match here, as they weren't guilty of his death. They were mere witnesses to the tragedy. Besides, the man who killed him was punished. What is this noise?
Something fell.
What is going on around this house all the time? And who burned the fire? There was nobody near. However, it's not the fire that draws Jana Shulikova's attention.
Look, in front of the fire. Do you see? And here is the second one. One is higher, the other is lower.
These are somebody's children. They were killed.
Which of your relatives did it?
My stepfather hit 2 people with a tractor, a boy of 14 and a man of 28.
He didn't hit them. They collided with him from behind.
They hit the mower.
An awful tragedy happened in the neighboring village. Oksana's stepfather was driving his tractor home after haymaking. A mower was attached to the right side of the tractor. 2 young men from the village were riding a scooter, coming back home after the disco.
And the mower, it's long and has such spikes, like scythes. So the guys hit them and fell off the scooter, right on the mower.
Both died instantly.
But it's not Grandpa's fault.
He was tried and punished.
Nonetheless, something doesn't match.
The psychics are at a loss. They go back into the house to decide what to do next.
Yana, look, I have an idea. To understand what kind of spirit it is, who he is, and what he wants, we need to conduct a ritual and talk to him. He refused to communicate with me, but I think he would be more willing to speak if we used of the family members he's been attacking.
Take me. I'm ready for everything.
It was a deadlock because speaking to a spirit that is trying to destroy you is incredibly dangerous.
No, you're not doing it. I'll never sacrifice Mom.
The psychics decided to carry out the ritual, which would help Lisa establish a connection with the spirit in the yard. But before that, they suggested that the adults take the little Karina to the neighbors to avoid putting her in danger.
My heart's leaping out of my chest.
Give me your hands. We're going to put you in a trance. Shall we start? Close your eyes. Relax. You're going to see pictures. It's going to be something like a dream or simply flashes. Okay, I feel him.
Jana radiated warmth, but from behind her, I felt a chill emanate. I was very scared. Who are you?
Here we go.
Why are you always near? Do you want to take me? Did we do anything wrong to you?
This is something beyond the real. Lisa has made contact with the spirit that is after her family, and she's talking to him.
This is the man on whose grave you stood.
I had a dream. I saw a cemetery where one grave was neglected. It was black. There was a woman, and the woman said, "This is your brother." I asked her, "How come he's my brother?" Because in the photo, there was an adult mustached man. But she told me, "Think."
You stood on the grave with your feet. He was calling you. He wanted you to help him. You forgot him. You left him.
We visited my baby brother.
It turns out Oksana had another child, a brother of Lisa and Karina.
After the dream, we immediately went to the cemetery and started searching, but we didn't find anything.
Did you search for the grave?
Mom said, "It's over here," but I was drawn in the opposite direction. I tried. I said, "Baby brother, give me a hint. Maybe I'll trip over something, or something moves somewhere."
I only want to ask you, why hadn't you visited the grave before? Why is he forgotten? And for how long has he been forgotten?
He's been gone for 29 years.
29 years ago, Oksana had her first baby, a boy named Ruslan. When he was 2 months old, he suddenly got ill. He was taken to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with acute bronchitis. A few days later, the boy died in the intensive care. The autopsy revealed that he died from the multiple birth defects.
It's hard to express with words. It's heartbreaking. It's the biggest tragedy of my life. The only thing that was left as a memory from him was his blanket.
Oksana simply couldn't visit his grave.
Something was preventing me from going there. Every time I approached it, I felt unwell and fainted and was taken away. I couldn't look at it and couldn't approach it, but I never forgot him.
I don't see them as clearly now, but these are the eyes. I saw them in my dreams.
The mustached man appeared in my dream and said, "It's not Boy's grave."
But who is the man whose spirit Lisa sees now?
Who is he? Who is he?
Who are you? Please tell us. Don't be silent. Say something.
We must break the link. The spirit started devouring Lisa's energy. We can't afford it. Lisa, open your eyes.
Lisa seems to have fully woken up, but the clairvoyants are yet to figure out who the man to whose spirit she spoke is.
Who is that adult man, Yana?
Blood. It's not your blood. It's upside down. The king is a stranger.
The mustached man was trying to tell me to go to find my brother.
Is it possible that the man whose spirit has been attacking the family is somehow connected with the cemetery where Lisa's brother is buried? But how?
Does he want you to bring him something? He is missing something where he is lying.
Is he strangling you? Is he? Inhale and exhale.
What is going on? Is Lisa in danger even after she awoke from the trance?
Careful, careful.
Lisa fainted. How awful.
Go, I command you to leave. The breathing is even. The heart's beating normally.
Lisa, can you get up?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my throat got tight. I couldn't breathe in or out. I couldn't say a word or shout out.
Open your eyes.
Are you all right? Breathe, inhale deeply.
How's your heart?
We should go to where he keeps coming from. We need to go to the cemetery.
The psychics, Oksana and Lisa, go to the cemetery in the neighboring town. They need to find the little Ruslan's grave. The clairvoyants try to feel the place where the baby boy was buried 29 years ago. It takes them a while.
There's the grave. Let's go there.
Here's the place of the pain. It makes me want to run away from it.
Is it true? Is Ruslan really buried here?
A boy, your bloodline.
Son. So this is the place. Son, forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Son.
It's not your fault as a mother for what happened. You were with him until the end.
I always speak about him. I always remember him.
The man is also in the grave.
He was buried on top. It's a double grave now. I finally realized the meaning of the dream with the man on the bones. The bones were the boys. It was his spirit that we saw all day.
Why is the spirit trying to harm Oksana's family? All in all, she didn't even know there was somebody else in her son's grave.
There was no ransom. Yana, there was no ransom. When somebody is buried in someone else's grave, even after many years, the original holder of the grave must be paid a ransom. Because the person who's been buried in the grave first thinks the grave is theirs. It means the boy was forcing the man out of the grave, and so the man's spirit couldn't find peace. He tormented the family, blaming them for not visiting the grave or taking care of it. With time, it leveled with the ground, and then he was buried in it. This is what the spirit meant when he said they were guilty because of the child.
Coins. We need to pay the ransom. You go to the church and order a remembrance prayer. After that, the man will stop haunting you. The boy's spirit will settle down, and he will stop tormenting the man.
You must always remember your late relatives. The memory is the only thing that protects us, giving peace to us and those who passed.
We are really grateful.
May I hug you?
Thank you.
Oksana Lapti and Lisa came to visit us a month after the investigation to share the news that things had returned to normal in their family.
It all changed for the better. It's finally quiet in our house. We don't hear any noises.
Thank you so much.
The mother's grief over losing her baby led her to neglect her son's grave, but who would have thought it would have such disastrous consequences? If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more shocking stories are still ahead.